Obligatory wizard meme.
I'm a wizard, wizard, a wizard, wizard, a wizard man. Electricity shoots from my finger. Nail.
Hi everybody, welcome to GameGorgon. My name is Krug.
I'm Indigo.
Today we're here to talk to you about the spell nerd, the wizard.
Yeah, that's a pretty good.
Apt.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
actually the whole video.
Yeah, done.
Yeah, bye.
You're gonna get a bunch of proficiencies as you can see on the screen. There is nothing interesting.
Yeah, I don't even know why you said a bunch. Like,
Well, I mean,
you're gonna get
attacks,
the minimum number of
Yeah.
proficiencies. Your skills are 2 plus its,
But
it's really
yeah,
high.
Yeah.
It's your
hopefully six skills that you're trained in.
Yeah.
Plus your, Arcana. It's a 7.
As a wizard, you're going to have access to the arcane tradition of spellcasting, and you are a prepared caster, the opposite of a sorcerer, which is what the wizard always is, the opposite of a sorcerer and vice versa. They are going to have to prepare every single spell, every single time they prepare into a spell slot if they want to cast that spell before the next time they, prepare. That sounds very tedious, and it is, but the good part about it is that you don't have to manage your spells known by level.
Correct.
Once you know a spell, you know it at every level, and if you want to choose to heighten it, you can just learn it in a higher level spell slot, or prepare it, in a higher level spell slot for that day. Wizards are also cool because they have a spell book, and they can add spells into that book outside of the context of leveling.
Yep.
So if they find a spell, they can copy it into their spell book, and there are rules for this in the game with how much does it cost for the materials, because it's not just paper and ink.
Yeah, and what skill checks you need to roll to make it.
Yep, it is not just oh, I found a piece of paper, I'm just gonna shove it in the margins of my spell. No, you have to do some stuff.
The other aspect of casting magical arcane spells is you're going to get cantrips, which are, I know you hate me when I say this, very similar to 0 level spells where you can cast them an unlimited number of times, but they always cast at your highest spell slot available.
Yep. At level 1, you're also going to be picking an arcane school in which you specialize. Define the kind of spellcaster you are in terms of the flavor of spell. Do you do well with spells that do damage, or do you do well with spells that transform things into other things? There are a bunch of schools, and you can pick from any one of them. There's also one that is school agnostic.
Yes, that's the universalist.
Universalist, thank you. I couldn't remember the name, so I said something that meant it.
So the example that we're going to be giving is the Illusionist, which is the school of illusion magic. You're going to add 1 first level illusion spell. An example would be Illusionary Object. Ooh.
Is there a spell called Illusionary Object?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. What a shitty name for a spell, but okay, cool.
You're also going to get warped terrain added to your spells. There is a reason why I chose Illusionary as the school of magic that we're going to be going over as examples.
Is it because it's my favorite school of magic when I play a wizard?
No, it's because Rose. Hi, I'm Rose. R-O-S-E, I am Rose.
Oh.
Is an illusionary spellcaster.
Oh. Player knowledge, not character knowledge.
For those of you who don't know who Rose is a character that I play as an NPC.
She's very rambunctious.
Yes. Are you okay with touching? Very much so. And it kind of gets them into a little bit of trouble. What? Huh? Okay. And she looks back at you after she leans over and she says what? And she leans back and says, "Thank you so much. I'll be back. I'll bring some more friends."
Oh yes, please do that, but who were you just talking to?
Huh?
All right then.
So if you haven't seen Court of Corvids, you should check that out.
At level 1, you're also going to get Arcane Bond. This is going to allow you to kind of infuse an item with magic and then drain that item of magic later to get stuff. You can use that infused magic to recast a spell that you've already cast that day. Gaining a spell slot, kind of. You had to already have used the spell slot to cast the spell that you want to cast. I think it's a nifty way of giving the wizard an extra little tiny bit of flexibility, because you do have to prepare your spells rigorously. And if you don't prepare the thing that you needed twice, 2 times or more, then you're screwed. I don't think that's what the game designers intended the preparation mechanic to be. And so this is just kind of like a oops.
Yep.
I needed that one more time. The only caveats here being that you can only do this once per day, and it has to be the first thing you do on your action, on your turn. Not the first thing you do on your action. That doesn't make any sense.
Delving a little bit deeper, even at first level, you're going to gain an arcane thesis, which this even specializes you and gives you a little bit more of a difference than every other, say, illusionary magic,
Right.
where you get to actually choose a thesis that makes you better at something.
Yeah.
With the improved familiar attunement, you're going to immediately get the familiar wizard feat,
Which is great because you need it.
it's going to gain an additional ability straight off the bat than any other person that chose that as a feat.
Right.
And you're going to gain another ability at 6th, 12th, and 18th level.
That's a lot of stuff, and there's another bullet point.
The other thing that you're going to be getting is you're going to gain that magical connection that you had with your bonded item with your familiar, so you're able to suck the energy out of your familiar and cast another spell that you were able to
that's
kill.
fucked up.
I mean, you don't kill it, it's just
No,
like,
you don't kill it, but it does experience an excruciating pain.
it does not.
Excruciating.
Rose, specifically,
Oh.
is an improved familiar.
Player knowledge, not character knowledge. The next option is metamagical experimentation. This is going to do two things for you. You're going to gain a first level metamagic wizard feat, just like right off the bat, plain and simple. Cool. That's not that exciting. Useful, not that exciting. The exciting part is that once you reach 4th level, you can pick any metamagic wizard feat that is half your level or lower and gain it for that day. Very similar
the fighter?
to the fighter. My jam when it comes to versatility in classes in Pathfinder. The fighter like got me addicted to it. The fact that the wizard has it as well is so good.
And the metamagic feats are really good.
Like, we talk about versatility a bunch and we praise so many things, and like maybe it's lost its meaning for some of the audience, but like ignore the rest of it. Metamagic is, because of the way that spells are and the versatility of spells, metamagic is the most versatile thing in the game.
And of course, for the like the day-to-day, the wizard's going to choose the same one over and over and over again until they're like, but I don't have to. Third one, spellbending, is very, very interesting because it's kind of like max level heavy loaded, right?
Consolidation wizard.
Exactly. So the idea behind the spellbender is that you can give up 2 spell slots to gain 1 spell slot of a slot that is 2 levels higher than the ones that you gave up.
Up to 2 levels
Yes,
higher.
up to 2 levels. So if you're giving up 2 first level spells, you can gain a 2nd or a 3rd level spell.
Right.
That's pretty huge in itself. You can do this more than once, but each time you do it, it has to be of a different spell level.
Right, so you can't sacrifice 2 first level spells, gain a 3rd level slot, and then sacrifice 2 second level spells and gain a 3rd level slot. That's not valid because the 3s are the same.
And on top of that, you can actually give up any spell slot and gain 2 additional cantrips.
So you could just like, oh, I'm gonna sacrifice all 3 of my first level spell slots and gain 6 additional cantrips.
Well, it doesn't work that way because remember, it has
Oh,
to...
sure, yeah. Dang. But still, that's really good.
Well, the thing is that you still have to know that many cantrips.
Sure.
That's the other key to it, is that, yes, you're gaining 2 additional cantrips, but do you know that many cantrips?
Right. I mean, cantrips will be the easiest things to learn.
Theoretically,
Yeah. Unless your world is weird. But like, there's no way that cantrips won't be flooding the market. And then like 9th level spells will just be like, oh, do you have a 9th level spell? No, stay away from my 9th level spells. The last option is spell substitution. This turns the wizard into the poor man's sorcerer. You could spend 10 minutes and just like spend some, time rethinking about your life choices. Take any spell slot that you have prepared a spell in and switch it for a different spell.
that that's in your spell book.
Yes, not any spell. You have to know the spell. It's a spell that you could have prepared when you had prepared the spell that you're switching out.
Exactly.
Right? Now, like every other martial class, the wizard is going to get a feat at 1st level, and it's also going to get a feat every even level that they're at.
But they're not martial.
Oh, are you sure? I mean, they get a feat at 1st level.
They do.
They must be a martial class.
What's really fun is making Rose a human with all the extra feats, and also having a wizard with an additional feat. Oh, and an improved familiar feat. I was like, oh, I've got all of the feats.
Fun fact, this is going to change in the next errata. It's already been said. But that's what it says in the book, so there you go. Just, if you're a GM, tell your players that
That's not true.
that's not going to be true in like 10 minutes.
Yeah, it's been verbally said, but it hasn't been officially
They have
written.
not officially released the errata, so I could be wrong. It's not.
They've
gonna be
said
wrong.
it.
Yeah, it's not going to be wrong.
Join the Discord where we actually talked about this.
Boom! And we're going to make an errata video once it becomes official.
Yeah. Next is the boring stuff that happens with every single class. We're not going to go over it. So have fun.
It's not boring. It's boring to talk about.
It's boring to talk about because every single class gets it, so
Yeah.
it's not important for us to talk about it every single class.
Right, but it's fun when you build the character, I think. At 5th level, you get lightning reflexes. Your reflex saves are going to go up to expert. It's not going to matter. You're still going to die if you have to make a reflex save.
At 7th, 15th, and 19th, your spell casting proficiency, so your spell attacks and your spell DCs, are going to increase in their proficiency. So at 7th level, it's going to go to expert. At 15th level, it's going to go to master. And 19th, it's going to go to legendary.
Nice. That was very efficient of you. Thank you for making that easier for me to edit. At 9th level, you get magical fortitude, where your fortitude saves are going to go up to expert.
At 11th level, you're going to get alertness, where your proficiency in perception
These guys. and
is
these
going
guys.
to go up to expert.
And these guys. And these guys. And this guy. At 11th level, you're going to get something that you should never use, wizard weapon expertise, where your proficiency with these weapons goes up to expert. Again, don't even carry them. Just don't. If you are not just casting cantrips, you're going to die.
I mean, a dagger makes sense.
Nope.
You might need to open a box.
Not
What if you got a
get an
letter?
Amazon
What if you
delivery?
got a letter?
use magic to open it. Unacceptable.
I'm gonna cast fireball.
The same way that I will never use a weapon with a monk, you will never use a dagger as a wizard.
I think it goes back.
Do what you want. I'm joking.
I think it really goes back to like old school wizards, where it's like wizards carried around crossbows because one, they had like 0 health, so they couldn't be close enough to attack melee,
And
they had
cantrips didn't work the same way.
yeah, exactly. They had 0 level spells, which was just basically super weak spells.
Yeah, but they had slots. And there were limits to the number of times you
Yep,
used them.
and so they were just basically like, I'm only using my spells when I absolutely have to. So here's a crossbow.
Yeah.
You were just like level 1 to like level 3 wizard was like, sleep! At 13th level, you're gonna get defensive robes where your
Stupid.
your unarmed defense increases to expert.
Your robes put up their dukes when you enter combat. And they,
Defense, not attack.
no, they're blocking attacks. I don't know how boxing works. At 13th level, you get something you're never going to use, weapon specialization, where your damage with weapons goes up by this flat number. I don't see spells on here.
Nope.
Nope, this is just with weapons and unarmed attacks in which you are an expert. Cool.
At 17th level, you're going to get Resolve, where your will save proficiency is going to increase to Master, and a successful roll is considered to be a critical success.
I am very happy that it's not like legendary proficiency, but the fact that it's will saves for the wizard is very good in my opinion. Sure. Because boy, oh boy, it's annoying when the caster gets like controlled.
Sure.
That's the most, like the barbarian, at least you can run away, but the wizard, especially high level, is just like, oh, are you a mile away? Yeah, I'm just gonna kill you anyways. Boop, you're dead.
Yeah, I mean, but it's 17th level and it's only Mastery.
Yeah.
It's kind of late in the game.
I'm not saying it's
Yeah.
like optimal, like, oh, this is never gonna happen, but at least it's what
Yeah.
the wizards, it's not, the
Well, and
fortitude save.
yeah, and you got to realize that will saves is based off your wisdom, which is not a key thing for wizards.
Yeah. Again,
So-
it's not ideal.
Yeah.
None of them are for the wizard. There's no intelligence save. But, and I mean, you might make a wise wizard. At 19th level, you get Archwizard Spellcraft. This is going to give you 2 10th level spells known, 1 10th level slot, so that you can f up bitches. You guys want to hear about the 10th level spell Remake? Because you're going to. The spell has a cast time of an entire hour, and it has material, somatic, and verbal components, with a range of 5 feet. You fully recreate an object from nothing, even if the object was destroyed. To do so, you must be able to picture the object in your mind. Additionally, the material component must be a remnant of the item, no matter how small or insignificant. Even a speck of dust that remains from disintegrate is enough. The spell fails if your imagination relied too much on guesswork, if the object would be too large to fit in a 5-foot cube, if the object still exists and you were simply not aware of it, or if the object is an artifact, has a level over 20, or has similar vast magical power. The item reassembles in perfect condition even if your mental image was of a damaged or weathered object. The new one is in perfected form. If the object was magical, this spell typically restores its constant magical properties, but not any temporary ones, such as changes or one-time uses. An item with charges or uses per day has all of its uses expended when remade, but it replenishes them normally thereafter. I feel like at a lot of RPG tables, magic items are like a discussion. Like a lot of people say, oh, I want to eventually be able to get this. Can you work that into the campaign? And so I feel like a lot of times GMs won't destroy those items. This is hilarious to me because if your GM's like, oh, I shouldn't have given you this item, I'm gonna conjure a situation in which it gets destroyed. You can just be like, nah, fuck you, bruh. Too late.
I think the other really powerful way of using this is, making the campaign a part about like gathering these pieces or saying, oh, you must get the sword or blah, 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 right? And it's like, oh, we found the hilt. Like, how are we going to find the rest of the sword? And the wizard's like, I got you.
Actually, I have a workaround for that. Yeah. Anybody got a picture of it? Yeah. You don't have to have actually seen it. You can just do it from a picture. You can do it from
a drawing, really.
A drawing, yeah. It doesn't have to be like a photo, as long as you are close enough to the real thing. Looking at a picture isn't relying on imagination. You're seeing the thing. It's just how good was the artist who made the picture is the question.
Yeah. Do you have all of the information? Like, do you know that it's made of steel or is it made out of adamantine? If you're having to guess about the fact what the sword is made out of, like what type of metal it is, that's kind of a big portion of the sword.
I'd say if it's something special. Like if it was just steel and you don't know, like you never were told it was steel and you're just assuming that it's steel or iron or something like that, close enough.
Sure.
But if it's like a 20th level material and you don't know that it's a 20th level material, it probably fails.
Yeah.
Suffice it to say, your results may vary.
Yeah.
Like this is a really heavy GM involvement thing.
Now, if you want to see another arcane spell, like a 10th level, go back to our sorcerer video where we actually talked about a 10th level spell, Gate, which again is not like heavy damage, but it is another kind of roleplay, very powerful spell.
Very powerful
So
spell.
yeah, if you want to kind of look into another version or another kind of 10th level spell, that's a good way to do it. I already know what 10th level spell Rose is going to get. So next level. Yeah, she gets her 10th level spell next level. Watch Core to Core vids if you haven't already started watching. First episode's already out. You can watch
Hold on. You said when we made perception check or something at some point and you were like, you are the most powerful people here. It's the four of you and Rose. Why were we in her league at all in our heads? That's bananas.
I mean, she's illusionary.
Fair.
I'm also joking about the next level part.
I don't believe you. Player knowledge, not character knowledge.
Am I? You can actually listen to it on podcast form. So check that out. Depending on when this video is out, depends on which platforms it's on, because
Podcasts are the dumbest technology created by anyone ever.
hit me up on Twitter at IndigoQT. Make sure to hit the like button and hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. There has been a massive amount of new people. Thank you very much for joining our adventuring party. If you want to see all of our content, hit the bell icon. If you don't want to see all of our content, because there's a wide variety of it, don't hit it. We're not like every other YouTuber.
Or you can talk to me on Twitter at QueueTimes. That was the most out of order fucking outro that we've ever done in the history of the show. Or you can talk to both of us on all these social media things down here. One of them is Patreon if you want to give us money, and you have money to give us, feel free to throw it at your screen, but that's not going to work, so then you can put it back in your wallet and then take out some kind of like electronic payment device.
Is this a Delver Digital video? Like,
I don't remember where I left off, so I'm just going to say thank you if you join Patreon, and if not, okay, that's cool. I hope you enjoy the content anyways.
if you don't join Patreon, join Discord.
Yes.
Bare minimum.
Discord's fun because we can talk to each other, and if you hate everyone, you can just mute us all. We've been GameGorgon, and we'll see you guys next time. Jesus Christ, that was hands down the most disorganized outro that we've ever done.
You see, it was disorganized, but I knew where I was at because I was like, oh, I want to make sure that I do this in this specific order, and then I would go back the other way.